Hello, my name is Raluca, and you are listening to Worldwide Vielfalt, a podcast about diversity. My guest in this episode is Maria. I met her when I was in Romania in May. She worked at a coffee shop in Bucharest, and I was very confused because she didn't understand Romanian at that time. But then she told me that she arrived in Bucharest just some weeks ago and that she is one of the many people who left Ukraine because of war. In this interview, she speaks about her story and how she manages to deal with her situation. So, let's start. A warm welcome to you, Maria.
Hi. Hello.
I'm glad we can talk. Maybe we start by you presenting yourself.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, my name is Maria, and from my point of view, I consider myself as an ordinary person in this world, but facing unordinary circumstances since I was a teenager, for example. And I'm Ukrainian, and I recently moved to Romania, where I'm currently living my new life and finding new ways to build my future here. And it's really adventurous time for me.
So adventurous because you see a lot of new things, or why especially?
It's adventurous because you get to learn how to look on the life from the new perspective. And you can see things that you have never thought about, that you have never seen. And it's just like starting a new book of your life with new characters, in new setting. And it's always interesting to explore not only the part of the world, but also the part of yourself that you have never knew about.
But is your life in Romania so much different from your life in Ukraine?
It's different, but I would say it's on the same level of how I feel there, I would say. Because in 3 months, I met great people here. I found a job, I made friends, and it's going great. It's completely different from what I had, but it is what it is. And I'm accepting this, and I'm grateful for all the amazing opportunities I was given.
And you came with your family to Romania, and that was because of war, right? May I ask, at what point did you know that you have to leave?
It was kind of unexpected decision for me, made by my mom, because when my mother's brother, it was his family, he left to Romania. My mom thought that we also should do this because we don't know what can happen next. And then next morning we just went to Romania. It was kind of unexpected, but I had mixed feelings that time because I was sad and I was excited to go somewhere, and like adrenaline pumping in my blood.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. And how long did it take to arrive mentally in Romania? Just not because of Romania, but in another place. I feel also just for vacation, I always need some hours or some days maybe to arrive, to really be present where I am. And how was it for you in your situation?
So I guess it took me 2 weeks because when we came to Romania, we stayed in Galați for 2 weeks. And it was the time when I let myself feel everything, to live these emotions through. And it took me 2 weeks to calm down. And then when I went to Bucharest 2 weeks later, after arriving to Romania, I just like something clicked inside me. Like, okay, I need to start doing something. I need to start living now again. And this like 2 weeks, they were hard, but they were really useful for like my mental health in order like to process everything.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, I feel like in life we don't take the time to just process, like you said. Yeah, it's really important. And you also said that you meditate. And did you do it before, or did you start during these 2 weeks?
Actually, I was meditating on and off since 2018, I guess. Like since I was like a teenager, I was like really into that, like studying different religions and philosophical studies. And I just tried this. I liked it, and even now, from time to time, it's a nice thing to do. But it's not my daily habit, and I'm quite sad about
I
it.
can understand. It's the same for me. I had a time where I did it daily, but I really miss this time. I feel like it was one of the best times of my life because it really changes everything, the way you think about things, the way you react to things. And now in everyday life, I feel like I would need it, but I don't know why I don't do it.
It's not that hard to meditate. It's hard just to sit and start meditating.
And you said you took that 2 weeks for yourself. And since then, do you have the feeling that it's really present in your everyday life, like the topic of war?
Well, it was still present, I guess, like even now, but it just depends on how much it's present. The first months was harsher in terms of like I was always thinking about it. I was always comparing Bucharest to Kyiv, and like this is not where I live. It's like everything's different. But as time goes, I'm trying to see the beautiful things here. I'm trying to accept it. And I always compare like my acceptance to like the grief stages. Because like I had the feeling that I lost my life and I needed to like come to all of them to the acceptance that I cannot turn the time back. I don't have a time machine, unfortunately. So the only thing I can do is just like to accept the new reality and admire the beautiful things that we have in our daily lives.
So that's the learning you had out of this situation?
Basically, yes. And my life is not the same. Like it's a completely new thing. Like I lost what I had, but I still have who I am. Like I still have myself in my life, and I didn't lose my inner strengths, my inner voice, my character. And this is what like gave me a lot of hope because like I still know who I am. I still can build a new life.
Yeah, like nobody can take this from you.
Yeah, exactly.
And did you learn something else about you, like things you didn't know you could do?
I never knew I can make a good coffee. That was a surprise for me. But also, I learned that like I'm actually really strong because when I moved to Kyiv, it was hard for me like to accept my new life in a big city as a teenager. But now I know that I'm even stronger because I like started my new life again, and they just like helps me to like when I have some daily problems. I know that like I can deal with it and I can solve it, and I know that I'm able to do that. So it just like keeps me on track of solving the problems of everyday life.
Yeah, I think that's also what I saw in you when we met. Like I already felt that you are a strong person. You must be a strong person from what I saw in that moment. So yeah, I don't know, something in you just fascinated me, and I'm really happy that you are open to do this interview with me. Thank you.
I'm really happy to do this as well. It's very, very interesting experience for me.
So I also hear out of what you said that personal growth is something important to you. And other than meditation, what do you consider important?
For me, like, for example, like the bare minimum is like learning languages. Because like in Ukraine, like I guess in Eastern Europe, like teenagers are told like you have to learn a foreign language because this is life now. You have to do it. And it's kind of like a fun hobby for me to learn because it's always really exciting. Like when first of all you understand like, wow, now I can say this, now I can communicate. And then you meet people from another countries and you can like talk to them, bond with them, ask about their cultures and like expand the horizons of your knowledge. So yeah, I would say like learning languages is my part of my personal growth, and also learning yourself. It's a part of personal growth, like spending time with yourself. I absolutely adore these moments when I can just sit with me, think about something, think about life, and just like organize the thoughts and my points of view on everything in my mind.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah. And not everyone can do that. That's my impression. For some people, it's really hard to sit down and just let everything come. And yeah, it's good that you found that for yourself. What would the best version of you look like?
I have no idea. I think like I should be just happy and content about the life without any worries. Like that would be like the perfect thing.
We often try to become better, to change, to follow things that aren't already there. And to me, it seems like for you, it's more about accepting everything that's there.
Yes, because like people always try to do a lot of things to improve them, like to improve themselves. But actually, like I always think that like whatever person needs, we have inside us. So we just need to open that up, not like look it from like any other place, because the only place we can find it, it's like inside us. So let's ground, let's sit, let's think, let's journal, let's meditate and just do it.
It's finding out that we are enough like the way we are. But would you say you are future orientated? Because if you don't chase to be a better version, that doesn't mean you don't have to be future orientated, but how do you consider yourself?
Well, I have some life goals that I would like to achieve, and I'm looking forward to what future will bring me. But at the same time, I've learned not to write detailed plans about like what I want to do because they usually crash. And this is where like my life lesson probably, because I was living too much in the future. I was like, okay, when this time comes, I will start doing this. That's how my life will look like. And the life showed me that like I need to focus on the present, but keep in mind the future, of course. So I would say like I keep this in mind, my future life, but I'm kind of focusing on the reality now. It can be impulsive from one point of view, but from another point of view, we only live once. So if I want to do something, I will do it now. Like if I want to start photography, as I did recently, I bought a camera like the next day because why not?
Yeah. No, it's cool. Yeah, I like it. Let's see how your personal culture is like. would you consider it Ukrainian, or is it a mixture of many other cultures?
I would say that I'm mix of Ukrainian culture with the mix of the culture of my hometown, because it's a slightly different culture from the rest of Ukraine, because it's a seaside city where are historically were a lot of people coming through, and we have there a big heritage of Jewish culture, which also affected the city, the mentality there. So like we're Ukrainians, but we're kind of like a mix of every nationality that was ever in my hometown, which is like, I guess it's so beautiful because you walk in the city, you can see like Greece, Italy, French, Jewish like neighborhoods, and it's fascinating how all people used to live like in not very big city, but connecting with each other. And like now we're all Ukrainians there, and it's still.
You said it wasn't a big city.
It is a big city, but it just becomes bigger and bigger in course of the years. But it was like kind of famous city. I call it like Las Vegas for royalty. Because everyone from like the north were coming to the seaside to spend their time vacations.
If you saw so many different influences of culture, what does cultural diversity mean to you personally?
I guess it's about being aware of other cultures, first of all. Because if you don't know that there are other cultures that exist, you can't pay any attention to them, because you have to know them first of all. Like, be aware that like they exist, and then you should learn about them and accept. Because I think to think about cultural diversity, there are a lot of judgments coming to other cultures and from other cultures. So it's about being aware, accepting, and like without judging. It's like using this kind of inner moral rules, we can call it like this, to just accept and learn about them.
So you mean giving also the possibility that two or more cultures can live together in one place?
Yeah, because like that's what I saw in my life. Because a lot of cultures were living together. Of course, it wasn't not perfect, because nothing is perfect in the world, but it's possible when people know about each other and they exchange knowledge. I think people should have intention to learn about other person, because people like often tend to focus on themselves, and they are not actually willing to learn about someone else. And I think like if you have the intention of doing so, you can actually build a kind of communication when you explore another culture and you learn about it. And like, first of all, I guess it's intention. Second of all, it's respect. Because like, I think in my mind, the opposite of respect is judgment, in terms of culture, especially, because people either respect or they judge other cultures, and we should learn how to respect, because everyone is different. And I think it's so beautiful, because it's never boring to meet other people, because you always learn something new.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's something unexpected every time, but also something beautiful and something you can learn or just accept. But why should we not accept something that's other than what we know? It can also be
Exactly. But people who don't accept or judge or still exist. And I don't know why they do this. So there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people who accept and respect and are willing to learn about other cultures, and it's great.
Yeah. And you yourself, what would you like to give to the world?
I would like to give like this kind of sense of optimism, like life optimism, I would say, because no matter how hard can life be, it's still important like to like be optimistic about things. Like whatever happens for a reason, and so it is what it is, and we just need to be present, be happy, and share this with other people. Because like I was told that like a lot of time that like I brighten other people's days, and it's actually like the best compliment I was ever given, because that's what I like to do, like to make other people like share my optimism with them so they can see more beautiful things in their life during their day and etc.
Can you explain how you managed to do that? Is it just you yourself?
I don't know, like I like making people happy with small things, even though it's not always like my close friends, or if it's something nice and I have this thought of like, oh well, I can do this for my coworker, for like my new coworker, it's going to be super nice, and I do it and it makes them smile, it makes me smile, and everyone's happy, and it didn't take me like too much effort to do that, like these kind of small things.
And I think if you and your coworker are happy together, you also make the customers
yes,
happy.
and it's like turnover.
They take it some other place. So yeah.
And I noticed that thing about sharing, like the positive energy when I started working in the coffee shop, because like when like I work alone in the mornings and I see like tables with people who have fun, who drink coffee, and they are happy, they look happy, and they will go with this smile during the day, and it just like makes me feel like, wow, I made like a small impact on someone's life by just like improving their morning like this.
Yeah, I can really imagine it because I see the place where you work, and I see it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So I'm very excited, very happy about it now.
Since we are heading towards the end, is there something else you would like to say before we end this interview?
I really enjoyed this interview like so much. It was a great experience for me, and it was so nice to see you again.
Thank you. It was nice to see you too, and to get to know you a bit better. I feel like it's also not the last time we connect to each other. So
sure, of course.
I have just one last thing I would ask you to do. There's a thing I made. It's called Worldwide Wörterbuch, and it's a dictionary for words about cultural diversity. And I would like you to choose a word that could fit into this dictionary. Yeah, maybe there's something you have in mind.
There's like one word in Ukrainian that comes to my mind. It's pronounced like єдність, which means unity. And I think like it's kind of like contradicts like the word diversity, because diversity it's about being different, but unity it's about coming together. And I think it's important because like when different people come together, like they unite, it creates such a strong force. And it's like when you see this in real life, it's kind of just like mind blowing. It's so good. Like, so I think like people are different, but they should unite.
It's a good point. Yeah. And that's really what I would like to show with this podcast, because everyone has something special about him or her, but it's in living together and connecting and talking about things that are important to us, that we can really live on another dimension. I don't know, it sounds strange maybe, but it's something else than being always with the people that just think like you think and don't bring something else into your mind. It's very important. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this was Maria. I hope you enjoyed listening to her. There will be another interview in English, so if you like, you can subscribe to this channel. Thank you for listening to Worldwide Vielfalt. Bye for now.